Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott. How's everybody today? Well, I'm inside my workshop today, but outside it is nice and sunny. It's the second day of sunshine we've had. Unfortunately, it's not enough to really dry out my property where I can go work on it. So today's kind of a lazy, down day, do other things day. So today I wanted to talk about the AR-15, America's Carbine. And it truly has become America's Carbine. It is, in my eyes anyhow, it's replacing the Winchester Model 94 and the Marlins as the go-to deer/boar hunting rifles. More people today seem to be using the AR platform for hunting various kinds of game, and I believe it's gaining in popularity if it hasn't exceeded the popularity of the old 30-30 Winchester. And I think that's a good thing. I know there's a lot of gun legislation out there trying to ban the AR-15, and in reality I really don't see why that's happening. I've heard the argument, one argument that I've heard was that civilians shouldn't have the same firepower as the military. Well, that's not always true, and I'm going to go back to the late 1800s, about the time that the Winchester Model 94, which stands for 1894, or the 92, the 1892, the Marlins 1885s, and somewhere around there. That's when the lever guns were really coming into play after the Civil War. And you know what the American military rifle was back then? It was the single-shot trapdoor Springfield. And you had people who had the lever action guns, which had 10-round repeating magazines. Now granted, the cartridges weren't quite as powerful as the trapdoors, but you can put more down range. So, right up until World War One, well, I take that back. I think in 1903, they adopted the Springfield bolt-action rifle or thereabouts, and that had a 5 or 8 shot magazine. So up until then, the American military had single-shot rifles, and everybody else had lever-action rifles, and so civilians were basically outgunning the military when it came to, amount of rounds down range. Also today, the AR-15, or actually the M4, M16 platform for the military, is about to fade into history because the military is coming up with a new rifle and even a new cartridge to replace the M4 and the M16, because it is found to be no longer adequate for military service. And this is going to happen, I'm going to say, within the next couple of years. Everything's really kind of fuzzy about what the cartridge is going to look like. I think it's supposed to be like 6.8 millimeter instead of 5.56. They're talking about a caseless cartridge. In other words, when the round is fired off, the cartridge is burned up as part of the powder, and so there's no brass anymore, so it's lighter in weight. It's supposed to be more lethal, be able to pierce body armor more. So the M4 M16 platform is about ready to become a piece of American military history very shortly. And so that, while it obsoletes the military version, it also kind of negates that argument about the AR-15 being anywhere near the military counterpart, because it's all going into history. This is becoming an antique as far as the military is concerned. Very interesting. But I really want to talk about the civilian uses of it. Because like I said, a lot of people use this for hunting. They kill boar, they kill deer. I think I've even heard some people killing elk. You can easily change the caliber to get a slightly bigger caliber. There's one I'm looking at right now called the 300 Hammer. It's a product designed by Wilson Combat. It looks very promising to be a really good boar and a really good deer, maybe even a really good elk cartridge on this platform. So with the popularity of the AR platform and the versatility, I think today you can call it America's Carbine. This is the rifle that everybody should be hanging above their fireplace. It's a great cartridge. It's lightweight, has low recoil. Anybody can shoot it. It's easy to maintain. Almost anybody can fix it. It's handy with the adjustable stock. You can close it in for close quarters or for storage, and then pop it out for using it, as a rifle. It's lightweight. It's just a great, like I said, this is today's lever action 30-30, and I think rightfully so. It belongs as an America's Carbine. I really enjoy the platform. I was around when the M16 first hit the scenes back in the 60s. When I went into the service, I was issued an M16A1. When I was ground based, when I was in aviation, I got a 38 and 2 M60 Delta machine guns. So I've shot thousands of rounds. I've owned quite a few of these. I'm down to one now, and that's just enough. But one of the uses that this thing does have is it makes a great Minuteman rifle. And what do I mean by Minuteman? Well, kind of like back in the 1700s, the mid to late 1700s, we had Minutemen, which were men who were prepared to fight for their neighborhood, for their community, for their country in times of trouble. And they were called Minutemen because they were supposed to be ready on a minute's notice. In other words, they kept their possibles bag and their musket handy. They had their clothes ready. They were ready to go out the door in a minute. And I think this makes a great Minuteman carbine, much like the 30-30 has for years and years and years and years. Nothing against the 30-30. I just happen to like this better. I was raised on semi-automatic firearms, and when I was in the military, automatic firearms. So, for me, I'm more comfortable with a semi-automatic, and I can take apart these things blindfolded, put them back together. It's just easier for me. So what does a Minuteman rifle really have to be? And there's a lot of stuff out there, and just like anything else, you could spend lots and 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 lots of money. However, the AR platforms today are so inexpensive that almost anybody can afford one, and you don't have to go to Walmart to buy one. Of course, I don't think you can buy them in Walmart anyhow, but they're pretty inexpensive. This is a Palmetto State Armory. This is the second Palmetto State Armory AR I've owned, and they're great rifles. They're accurate, and they're relatively inexpensive. I think this one, not including the slings or this sight, I think that's the one. Yeah. Oh, and this is a brass catcher that I can clip on here when I'm at a range, so I can save my brass. But this is about $500. 500, I think 520 is what they sold for. It was on sale, and it came with all the Magpul furniture, and it came with the rear sight too. You get the A2 front sight, but it came with a Magpul rear sight, so ready to go out of the box. $519. That's hard to beat, and plus you get all this nice Magpul furniture, which I happen to like. So this is a Minuteman rifle. Do you need any more? And this is a Trijicon MRO sight. It's a red dot sight. I have put scopes on the AR platform before, but when you start putting a scope, especially one of those tactical scopes like the 1-6s or the 1-8s, it starts getting big, it starts getting bulky, and it starts getting heavy. And I don't like that. It's no longer a carbine, it's a rifle, and it's not handy. And when things aren't handy, you tend to leave them at home. This is grab and go, easy. Let me pop it off. It's lightweight, easy to sight, easy to shoot. Again, it's I can grab it in multiple places. Whereas a scope, you kind of have to work your way around it. I can articulate the slide easily. Very easy. Like I said, this is a Trijicon MRO red dot. It co-witnesses with the front sight. This is an anti-reflective covering. I put this on not because I was worried about flashing somebody, but because this is so short, when stray light gets in here, you get kind of a red haze sometimes. This cuts it down quite a bit. Plus I've got it mounted all the way back so my head kind of covers it, and it works just fine. This thing only weighs a couple ounces. It runs a CR2032 battery, which you can buy in any drugstore today. They're all over the place. When I was looking at this, I was looking at an Aimpoint red dot, about the same price, but they use some weird battery, and I was always afraid that I couldn't get a replacement battery easily. Here, you can buy them in Sam's, you can buy them in Costco's, drugstores, anywhere, and the battery, if you leave this on the number 3 setting, it says it'll last about 3 years. So once a year I change that battery out. It costs me about $1, maybe $1.25, maybe. And it works. For a sling, I've got, this is the Magpul sling. I think it's called the SL1. It's a somewhat adjustable sling. I think I'm going to go back to my Rhodesian slings. I like them a little better. But for an everyday person's rifle, and plus these things are fun to shoot. They really are, and the ammunition is not that expensive right now, so you can go have a field day with these. But for an everyday, everyman rifle, these are hard to beat. You can use them for home defense. You can use them for hunting. You can use them for sport shooting, plinking, popping tin cans. It's just a great carbine. And also too, you can get these things. Let me see which pocket I stuck this in. There it is. You can get these things. Let me take the cover off. With a 10 round magazine, that's about, well, actually it's less than what a 30-30 holds, but here's a 10 round magazine. Man, you slap that up in there and there's nothing hanging down. So you've got the handiness of a 30-30, especially with a 10 round magazine. 20 rounds come down a little more, of course the 30s are more. But for hunting, you don't need more than 10 rounds, and even if you did, you just stick one like I did. I just stick this in my pocket. And I've got an extra magazine, that's another 10 rounds. And so, very handy. I recommend if you are a hunter, that this is a great rifle to get. You can use it to hunt, like I said, lots of different types of game, varmint hunting. Defend your family. I know it's number 4 on my list. That's why I'm saying this is such a good deal, because it's fairly inexpensive, and you can get them for less. I've seen AR-15s down around $350. And like I said, it's number 4 on my list of priorities, but it doesn't mean because it's number 4 I totally forget about it. So I really wanted to take a moment to talk about America's Carbine, and that's what this is. This is America's Carbine today. I think it is supplanting and replacing the 30-30 of yesteryear, especially with some of the additional calibers or the additional cartridges you can get for this. And the nice part about it is you can change cartridges, and you just have to replace the upper half of this with a new barrel, and sometimes a new bolt carrier, sometimes the same bolt carrier group, and you just keep the lower the same. So you save a little money by doing that. You just pop it off, pop it on. It takes about 5 seconds. Sometimes you have to change the magazine depending on what the cartridge configuration is, and you're good to go. You're ready for another round of shooting with a different cartridge. It's you know, I'm going to get another cartridge for this. There's one that came out by Wilson Combat, really interests me. It's called 300 Hammer, and I'm going to try it. And I'm going to put a little scope on that, and that'll be my. This will be my hunting gun. This could be my hunting gun too, but it just gives me a little more power on the other one. So I just want to take this beautiful sunny day, get out here a little bit. I'm kind of piddling around, kind of taking it easy, let my body rest a little bit too. But if you don't have one of these, I recommend getting one. And even if your state doesn't allow a .22 caliber hunting for deer, mine does. You can get a 300 Blackout, 458 SOCOM, the 300 Hammer. Those are all more powerful and bigger diameter bullets, which should allow you to hunt. I think they also make them in 450 Bushmaster, and 350 Legend can also fit into this platform. So you have options. And then if you have magazine restrictions, I know Magpul, you can buy it looks kind of like a tongue that you stick inside the magazine in between the spring, and what it does is it limits how many cartridges you can put, because this is about as small a magazine as you can put in there. So you have to put something to block it. It's, you know, somewhat permanent in there because it replaces the floor plate, and so now you can hunt legally. You know, it's just a great thing. I like the Magpuls because I can take these and I can put these little, they come with these little covers and kind of protects the, I guess I just slip it in my pocket. So anyhow, that's it for today. I just wanted to, you know, talk about today's carbine, and that this is a viable option for many people to do many different things with. So you all take care, stay safe, and stay secure.